He thought it was just an old staircase hidden in the woods. But what Peter found underneath it led straight to a Cold War secret that had been buried for decades. Money, weapons, and passports from around the world. And when the FBI got involved, the truth shocked even the experts. This isn't just a story, it's a real-life mystery that finally has an answer. And you won't believe how it ends. But before we start our story, smash the like button. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notifications bell so you won't miss any new stories. As always, he walks along the beautiful creeks and rivers in the forest. Normally, Peter has a fixed route, but today he plans to take a different route, a little deeper into the forest. The forest is very big. Chances are that Peter will lose his way. The forest is tens of miles in size and has several paths that all lead elsewhere. This time, Peter wants to get off the path to see more of nature. Just to be sure, he has informed a friend that he's in the woods. If he doesn't return in one day, the friend will call the police. When Peter has walked about 3 kilometers into the forest, he comes across an abandoned barn. Seems like no one has been there for years. The wood of the shed is completely rotten and the black paint is gone. Then, a little further, he sees an abandoned stone building. Since he is all alone and has a very bad telephone connection, he thinks it is a risk to just enter the building. First, the building could collapse when he goes inside, and second, there could be someone or something in there. But Peter is naturally curious, so he decides to take a look. A few meters from the abandoned house, Peter sees something in the bushes. Because of all the vegetation, he cannot see exactly what it is. It looks like an old fence with barbed wire. He walks a little closer to see what the object is. Once closer, he sees that the object is a staircase. The stairs are completely covered with moss and weeds. The bottom steps are completely rotten. It looks like the stairs have been there for years. At the bottom of the stairs, he spots something shiny. It looks like something made of metal. When he removes the plants at the bottom of the stairs with his bare hands, he sees that the metal object is a shutter. With all his strength, he pushes the stairs a meter to the right so that he can open the hatch. There is only one problem. Peter is a muscular man, but he still has trouble opening the hatch. He tries several times to open it with both hands on the handle. The handle is smooth. His hands slide off it all the time. The hatch just won't open. Peter decides to try something else. He finds a steel pipe a little further. With all his strength, he pushes the pipe under the handle and tries to use it as a kind of lever. After more than 3 tries, he is lucky. The hatch suddenly opens, and to his surprise, there is something down there. He is looking straight into a big dark hole. He quickly searches for his mobile. He shines with the light of his mobile at the big hole and sees that a staircase descends a few meters. Peter spots a kind of stair. It looks like an old wooden staircase. There seems to be a kind of corridor. Peter can't see the end. He knows that anything can happen when he enters the tunnel. Maybe the tunnel is decades old and about to collapse. Yet this thought does not prevent him from entering. Carefully, he enters with the light of his cell phone shining in front of him. He walks step by step through the tunnel, hands out in front of him. He slowly moves on. There's a scent in the tunnel he has never smelled before. Where does the smell come from? There seems to be no end to the tunnel. Peter has now walked about 40 m in pitch darkness. Suddenly, he sees something a few meters in front of him. It looks like they are rays of the sun. He walks towards the light. Peter quickly walks towards the light, and he soon sees that there is a wooden door with 2 windows in it. One of the windows is broken and the other is full of dust. He looks for the door handle. A few seconds later, he finds it. The door is open. It turns out to be the end of the tunnel. Peter comes right in front of the abandoned stone house. Peter finds it strange that the stairs do not end in the house. His feeling tells him to take a look inside the house. When he arrives at the front door, he sees that the door is ajar. That's nice because now he doesn't have to break it open or smash a window. He doesn't hesitate and quickly pushes the door, and his mouth falls open in surprise when he sees what's inside. To his great surprise, most of the furniture is still there. The ground is full of rubbish and there is a foul, musty smell. He searches every corner of the house, but nowhere does he find any private properties that allow him to determine in any way who this house belonged to. He continues to search undisturbed until he comes across a staircase that leads to a room below. Step by step, he walks down the dark stairs. He can barely see anything. He uses the light on his cell phone as a flashlight. When he observes a dark space, he notices a large object in the corner. He slowly creeps closer. He comes closer and sees that it is a cube-shaped object, 3 feet high and 2 feet wide. The object is completely covered in dust. Peter carefully wipes the dust off with his hands. Then he recognizes the shape of the object. What he finds he never dared to dream. It's a safe with a combination lock. The safe is covered in dust and the door is closed. To his surprise, the safe is unlocked. He slowly opens the door. What he finds inside will make you scared. The first thing he sees when he opens the safe are banknotes, countless of them stacked on top of each other. They are wrapped in plastic. At first glance they look like US dollars. Peter estimates it should be around $3,000. Peter pushes the notes aside and comes across a box of about 1 foot in circumference. There is a small keyhole on the front. There is an old key on the lock. Peter tries to open the lock with this key. Fortunately, the lock still works. When he opens the box, he doesn't believe his eyes. There is a weapon at the bottom of the box. Is it real or a fake one? Peter is not very familiar with weapons, but he immediately recognizes the shape of a revolver. And that ain't all. The revolver is completely made of gold. Peter carefully lifts the pistol out of the box. The weight of the gun is unreal. He barely manages to keep it in his hands. He carefully opens the cylinder with the 6 chambers. And guess what? There are 3 bullets left in the cylinder. The cylinder is built to lodge 6 bullets. Maybe the other 3 are already used. Peter quickly puts the revolver back in the box and continues his investigation of the safe. He notices something small in the back of it. He shines his light from his cell phone towards the back of the safe. He does not really see what lies there in front of him. When he approaches the object with his hands, he notices the musty smell of it, like the smell in the tunnel. The object looks like a backpack. The bag is completely moldy. Peter takes the bag out of the safe very carefully. He now sees that it is an old-school bag. The bag is made of leather and has several small pockets. Curious, Peter opens the bag and takes out some documents. At first glance, there doesn't seem to be special documents. Then he sees what they are: passports. But there is something special about these passports because they are not US citizens. There are ID documents from countries all over the world: France, Germany, Brazil, but mostly many Russian passports. Peter doesn't understand. There aren't United States passports among them. How come? He opens one of the passports and sees a Russian name, Andrei Rostov. The name doesn't ring a bell. Is it a real name? The photo of the guy looks real. Then he opens another one, hoping this one will tell him more. The first thing he sees is a photo of a man. He looks sporty and quite young. Peter estimates he must be around 30 years old. As with the other passport, this man has a Russian name, Igor Nikolia. What's going on here? She spoke to the detective, and the man would love to hear Peter's story. She made an appointment. Peter and the man meet up that afternoon, and Peter tells him the story and shows him the stuff. The man's reaction is priceless. He can hardly believe Peter's story. How is it possible no one has ever found the house? In addition, he finds it strange that no data about the house is stored anywhere. Normally, every case is stored. The detective is obsessed with the different passports. He has them examined by a specialist. Could be they are fake. The revolver is also examined, mainly for fingerprints. The money is stored in a safe. Peter is told that he will be called when they have discovered something. He can't wait. After more than a month, Peter receives a call on his mobile. The call is anonymous. He takes it. It's the same detective who helped him that day. His voice is excited, and Peter immediately notices that he has something special to say. The man begins to tell what they found out in the last month. After weeks of research, they finally find out who owns the house, passports, and other belongings. Peter is flabbergasted. He can't wait to hear the rest of the story. The house turns out to be the hiding place of a Russian spy during the Cold War. Heron police have partially turned the case over to the FBI. They carried out a large-scale investigation and ended up in Russia. From there on, the Russian police took over the case. They set up a large investigation to find relatives of the spy. After a few weeks, they made some progress in the case. They found his real name, Lev Orov. Peter listens carefully to the story of the detective. The spy appears to have died a few years ago. The relation with the Russian Federation is much better these days, which is why the police decide to transfer the items to Russia. Peter can hardly believe the story. He is very happy. The Russians have searched for the spy's family. It didn't take long for the police to find the family. The family comes from a small town near Moscow. They visit the spy's daughter and her husband. The daughter is 56 years old. They were obviously surprised by this incredible story. But the family is very happy that they received the documents and passports from their kinsman. They have sent a postal to Peter thanking him for all his effort. Peter is very happy and relieved that he has now learned the story behind his special discovery. It is a story that he will tell relatives and friends more than once. The dilapidated house is demolished and the land is given back to nature.